Last time we talked about the biggest mistakes Whippet owners make, but when I told my Whippets about it, I was immediately accused of spreading misinformation and fired 9 times in a single day. So, to redeem myself, we agreed it's only fair we hear their point of view. Today, we're talking about the biggest mistakes Whippet owners make, according to the experts themselves. According to Whippets, true betrayal happens when humans expect them to operate as independent creatures. The audacity. Remember that one time you watched your Whippet shiver for 0.4 seconds? Why didn't you immediately rush over to wrap them in 7 blankets? What a grave mistake. Or when they wanted to sit on that chair and you didn't lift them. Yes, of course they can jump, but nothing compares to a personal elevator service. When you feed them, do you expect them to walk to their bowl and eat on their own? Who do you think they are? Some sort of dogs? Put your useless hands to work and start treating them like the royalties they are. Whippets believe independence is a myth created by humans who don't love them enough. But in typical Whippet fashion, the second the topic changes, they flip the script. Because that's why. Independence is unacceptable unless it's something they want to do, in which case your interference is an unforgivable violation of their rights. For example, you're not allowed to choose the walking route. Which way they'll go is up to them, and your job is to follow, considering you're here to serve and not express opinions. Remember that squirrel you didn't let them catch? What's wrong with you? You're preventing them from following their instincts, and if you continue to do so, you will be fired. According to Whippets, we humans love this thing called recall and shout names like we're summoning a medieval spirit. Whippets have a rare medical condition called owner-induced temporary deafness. The more you try to restrict their independence, the worse the symptoms get. For a perfect recall, nah, just kidding, it doesn't exist. Just accept your Whippet is a creature of independence, except for when it isn't, and move on with your life. Let's now talk about blankets, or the lack thereof. A single blanket is the synonym of tragedy, and your greed won't get you far. In a Whippet household, blankets are not a luxury, they're a life support system. They like to burrow and snuggle. 3 is the absolute minimum to make a Whippet moderately pleased. They aren't only good for warmth, they're for nest construction. Never forget that blankets are not optional, they are survival. And remember, there is a blanket for everything, including a watching you cook blanket. Humans think they're busy. They think they are important. That look you're ignoring? That's not a random stare. It's a polite, silent, and very judgmental demand. Fix this now. What's wrong? What is there to fix, you may wonder? After 17 years with Whippets, I have no idea. But I know that if you don't fix it immediately, you will be cursed by the Whippet gods. The curse includes epic, silent, patient, dramatic judgment that will haunt you until the task is completed. Consider yourselves warned. If you're enjoying this video so far, please subscribe. It might help me keep my job as a Whippet servant for at least 1 more day. Dog beds? Really? Whippets are creatures of elegance, of flexibility, not really, of supreme taste. You thought they'll love that dog bed, but they prefer a more superior option, such as your favorite chair, or even better, your bed. Dog beds exist in theory. In practice, they sleep where they deem appropriate. Often inconvenient for you, but remember, your acceptance is optional. Don't get too confused though. You should still buy at least 5 dog beds per Whippet. They might not be a primary choice of nest, but having enough options around the house is an absolute must. Plus, they might come in handy for you, in case your own bed is completely occupied. Trust me on this one. Doors. Closed. Why? Don't you understand the concept of freedom, exploration, and being Velcro? A closed door is an insult, a barrier, and a challenge to a Whippet's authority as a creature of curiosity and attachment to their favorite human. Every time you shut a door, you're not just denying access, you're denying supervision. And yes, they notice immediately. Are you hiding another Whippet in there? What if something bad happens behind that closed door? What if you disappear forever? Or worse, Whippets cannot function if the door is shut. It disrupts the natural airflow of the house, it creates emotional turbulence, it blocks their telepathic connection to you. Very unsafe. Never forget that Whippets demand access and literal physical attachment, always and everywhere. Let me guess, privacy crossed your mind. If you needed privacy, you should have gotten a goldfish. End of story. Which leads to the next mistake. Walk into the other room unsupervised. If you think you can walk into another room without supervision, you've clearly underestimated the Velcro factor. Whippets are shadows, guardians, and supervisors of every human move. Leaving their line of sight is a tactical error of epic proportions. Every step you take away from them is a test of trust, and frankly, you're failing. Unsupervised wandering is forbidden. Your loyalty, safety, and life choices must be monitored. According to Whippets, humans don't make good choices. Taking 3 steps into another room alone could mean that you've moved out, you've been kidnapped by laundry, you're eating something without them, or you're never coming back. If you insist on walking away, follow this simple protocol. Announce where you're going.
Аз отивам долу.
Explain why you're going.
Отивам долу, за да обядвам.
Invite your Whippet to join you.
Искаш ли да дойдеш с мен?
Wait for their approval. Leaving the house without your Whippet is the highest form of treason. This means you're abandoning them, you're never coming back, you've started a new family, or even worse, you're having fun without them. If you must leave the house, there is a procedure. Warn them 48 hours in advance, hold a family meeting, explain the reason, apologize again. Spoiler alert, none of this will work. Did you say you must go to work or run errands? That's not your Whippet's problem. Why didn't you think of this earlier and become, I don't know, a stay-at-home influencer or something? Leaving your house is only acceptable if your Whippet joins. All other reasons are invalid and will be punished with a variety of bad moods. You might think one Whippet is a complete unit, but Whippets know that one Whippet is simply a starter pack, a demo version, a free trial. When there is only one, they must shoulder all responsibilities, supervising you, demanding snacks, staring judgmentally, stealing blankets, and a second Whippet helps distribute the labor. They believe being alone is a medical emergency. A like-minded friend helps reduce the risk of "my human left for 8 minutes and I nearly lost my life" episodes. Besides, a couch looks incomplete with only one Whippet on it. This might even be the easiest mistake to fix anyway. If you get just one, the Whippet community assumes you'll be getting a second within a year because my first Whippet was lonely, I thought 2 will be easier, he needed a friend for emotional stability, I tripped and fell into another Whippet. And that concludes today's list of mistakes Whippet owners make, according to Whippets. If you disagree, please seek help. The Whippets say you may be beyond saving, but it's worth a try. Have a lovely weekend and a fantastic week afterwards, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye bye!